So Lions, right? It seems like they're in full rebuild mode. You know, you got rid of your coach, Matt Patricia. I think he went back to the Pats. That's where he
Oh
was good
yeah,
at. That's where he's going back to. You got rid of a lot of guys. You got rid of Matthew Stafford. You got rid of Galladay. You got rid of pretty much all your receivers.
yeah.
Um, and then you had your number one pick last year get hurt, the cornerback Jeff Okuda. So it's just like, and then it seems like there's this running back revolving door. So I mean, I know Swift is the guy now, but I mean, it just seems like you've had so many running backs come in and out of there, and they all look like they could do the job, but there's just no commitment. I guess the question is, Jared Goff, is that now your guy? Like,
Oh
if you're the
gosh,
coach or if you're a fan of the Lions, like, do you believe in Jared Goff? Do you
hell
believe in
no.
Swift? Do you believe in the draft picks? Like, Panay Sewell was a steal for you guys, by the
It
way.
was, yeah.
The
That
fact
was
that
a
he
dub.
fell to you, absolute W. I know you
That's
wanted
the
Devonta
best thing
Smith, but
that's
I was like,
happened.
okay,
It's the best thing that's happened to the Lions since they drafted Calvin Johnson, bro.
yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I
But
know
yeah,
you guys
golf
are,
is trash. Golf is terrible. If I'm a Lions fan, I am praying for golf to be as terrible as possible. I want the highest draft pick possible. I don't know who the quarterbacks are next year, but I want one of them because it's just Jared Goff, really? I feel like Jared Goff only came in because that was the only way that the Rams would give you all those picks. So you just took him. They were
yeah.
like, hey, we want Matt Stafford. We'll give you 75 first round picks, but you got to take Jared Goff. And they said, oh, all right, whatever.
Just to give you guys
So,
an insight, the Detroit fans out there might be watching this right now. Like, this came out of Sean McVay's mouth. Okay, so like he had Jared Goff for a number of years, and then this is we're not even in the season yet. We're still talking minicamp, and he's already talking like Matthew Stafford's a god, quote
yes.
unquote. This dude is a bad motherfucker, bro. That's quote unquote. That's what Sean McVay is saying. So it's just like that. What does that tell you about Jared Goff?
Yeah, Jared Goff.
Like
Jared Goff
he wasn't good.
he was a stat patter for one season, and everybody got excited about it.
Well, he was a
And then
Jimmy
he got,
Garoppolo of sorts. He just handed off to Todd Gurley, and ever since then,
yeah. Well, the Super Bowl year, the Super Bowl season, he did have quite a few passing yards, but
sure. But you
it
had
was just like
Cooks, and you
unimpressive.
had
Yeah.
Cooper Cup. You had damn. There's another receiver. You guys were loaded on offense. Let me just say that.
Like once he got to the playoffs with the Rams, right? It was like I don't I don't think they didn't play in the first game they played was against the Saints.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Who were they playing? Who they playing in the divisional? Because we were the championship game. I don't know. They got to the Saints. He looked terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, the defense brought you back into the game, and then don't even get me started on the Super Bowl. What a fucking bum! How you go to the Super Bowl and play like that is beyond me. I know the Patriots had a good defense, but like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
Because the
And
very next year,
then
Nick Foles dropped like 50 points on him. So I'm just saying.
yeah. No, I get that. But I know there's been good sides to Jared Goff. Like I remember there was either a Thursday night or a Monday night game against the Chiefs, and I think that was the game of the year that year. I think
Yeah.
between Mahomes and Jared Goff, like they both hung like at least 50 points on each other each. So it was crazy.
hmm
Um,
But was it Goff or was it Sean McVay his first season coaching and nobody knew how to game
it,
plan for him?
I don't remember. It could have been his first season. I just
Because
remember
that offense
that was
has
like a
not been
prime time
even.
game, and Jared Goff looked amazing.
Yeah, because the Rams offense hasn't been remotely even close to that first season when they went to the Super Bowl.
So maybe
It's
Sean
almost like
McVay's
Sean
offense
McVay.
switched it. Yeah,
I feel like it threw people off, and they were like, "Yo, who is this guy? And who is these? What are these plays?" And then now teams have kind of gotten a little, kind of like with with the Saints, their offense used to be really good. Now it's just kind of like, nah.
yeah. You can even see a thing about Lamar and the Ravens with that 14-2 season. Like no one just didn't
Exactly.
understand all these running plays, and it's like, all right, well, they got a billion people in the box. How do we get to them? Now
hmm
they're starting to figure it out. But yeah, I mean that makes a good point. Who's their head coach right now? You have to
They
remind
hired
me.
that. It's I
The
can't think of
tight
his
end
first
coach for
name.
the Saints, right?
Yeah, it's Campbell. I can't think of his first name. It's like Mark or Dave or something like that. But yeah,
Okay. So I guess my question is now is like, okay, you got rid of Matt Patricia, and you hired the tight end coach for the Saints.
yeah.
Was that the move? I mean, why
I
didn't you
don't
go
know.
after
He was talking
the
about
enemy?
he was over here talking about biting kneecaps and
Oh, what?
whatnot. In his first like press conference, he was saying something about like chewing on their kneecaps or something. I can't remember the exact quote, but I was like, what the hell? He was like super animated and hype though, which could be good. But I was like, I hope you know how to
Almost
play.
sounds like
You
a
know,
Jameis Winston effect, like
yeah,
eating a
like
W. Like people are probably kind of weirded out, but they like the energy.
yeah. It depends on how the players respond, right? Because like Tampa Bay players thought that eat a W was weird. Saints players have embraced eat a W,
Now I saw
right? So
Drew
it's
Brees
like
even do it. That was funny.
right, exactly. So it's like, do the Lions embrace chewing kneecaps, or do they think it's weird? We'll find out.
It's just the Motor City guys. I mean, I want to say that this team can only go up from here, but I mean, it's hard for me to say that when you're getting rid of your whole team. I just don't know what's in mind. Like, I want to know what's behind the mind of this team, the head
Yeah, I want
coach,
to know what's
or
going
I
on with
guess
like
the ownership.
it's the ownership, bro. Because remember, like there was like I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I wanted to talk about this, but it was like on a really weird timing for the podcast where it didn't make sense to talk about it. But like Calvin Johnson, I guess, came out and said like I didn't want to retire; they made me retire. Did you read that? He didn't want to
I
play for the
want.
Lions. He was like Aaron Rodgers basically. He didn't want to play for the Lions anymore because they refused. They couldn't build a good team. Him and Stafford were just stuck there, and he asked them to either release him or send him somewhere else, and they said no, so he retired.
Damn.
So literally the Lions like made us miss out on like 5 more years of Calvin Johnson. So thanks a lot, Detroit. Appreciate it. Like, why not just let him? Like, really? You know what I'm saying? Like
At that point,
he's done so much
he
for
made
you,
your
man.
team relevant. So like it's almost like Julio
Yeah,
Jones. Like he made the Falcons so relevant.
that's
At
what I
least
was
let
thinking
him
of.
go to where he wants to go.
That's who I was trying to think of, not Aaron Rodgers, Julio. I was like, bro, like it. I don't. Some teams are. It's kind of a similar thing with Aaron Rodgers, where the team is just like, no, like what, like
And they
you
got
know.
nothing out of him retiring, by the way. Like at least you probably could have gotten good
I'm
draft
saying
picks,
exactly.
all kinds of stuff
Oh
for
my
Calvin.
god, a haul for Calvin? Are you kidding me? Easily, like he was only. Was he even 30 yet?
I want to say no.
Yeah, I'm saying you could have got. I mean, at least
I think he was only 8 years in the league. I want to say. I want to say he was only in the
yeah,
league
he
8 years.
might have been just coming up on 30, bro. Like you could have got. He was still going for 2K yards, man. You could have got two. I don't want to say 2 first-round picks because the receiver market's not the same as the quarterback, but at least one first, a couple other later round picks, and maybe like, oh my gosh, dude. When I read that, I was like, "You're joking." I just thought he didn't want to get hurt.
That's
You know
what
what I'm
I
saying?
thought.
I thought he was trying to avoid like head damage and stuff, kind of like Luke Kuechly and those guys. But like, no, he just didn't want to play for the Lions anymore. That's crazy.
When did he? Was this recent?
He said it when Julio got traded. He was like, "That's
Wow.
what I wanted, but I didn't get it, so I
Oh
just retired."
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I
Okay.
was like, that made me so mad. I was like, dude, because we all sit here, everybody says, man, I wish we got to watch Calvin Johnson some more. And it wasn't even really his choice. But what's interesting to me is like, if he would have retired for 1 year, couldn't he have come out of retirement and signed somewhere else? Maybe he just decided that he liked being
At
retired.
this point,
bro.
he probably liked it. Like he's been doing it for a couple
Yeah.
years. Like, well, I got my money. I'm
Yeah,
definitely
he's
going into
probably
the Hall of
like, yeah, fuck
Fame.
it. I'm not getting hit no more after this. That was really interesting though. Let me see if I can pull that
Yeah.
up.
Now you do
While we
that. I
talk
mean,
about the fucking draft steal of the century, possibly for Penei Sewell.
yeah. I mean, so you guys got Penei Sewell. I mean, I know you guys were already hyped up to get Devonta Smith, but then you get Penei. So it's just like, all right, I can see this team kind of getting its identity a little bit here. Like, all right, so it looks like you're kind of loading up with defense a little bit. I mean, you got rid of all your receivers, so it seems like you're gearing yourself towards a run team. So you got Swift, you're getting your line, Penei, so well, and it looks like Jared Goff, he already knows how to hand the ball off really well. So that seems like that's what's going to be. It's no longer the Matthew Stafford passing attack anymore. It's going to be Jared Goff handing the ball off to Swift, and possibly a better defense. I mean, on the top of my head, I know you guys got rid of I know you guys signed someone from the Patriots not too long ago, and then you got Jeff Okudah, who's supposed to be, the best corner of last year, the draft. So I mean, I see this team kind of getting out of this rebuild mode and starting to build its identity here, but it's just a matter of can you bring it together? Is that head coach the guy, and will this team ever be good? again. Like it seems like you have Hall of Famers that come in and out of there, but we never see any like postseason appearances or even competitiveness with the Packers. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I honestly, the Lions haven't been relevant in a very long time. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I mean, we've seen the Bears be more relevant than the Lions, and
Yeah,
that's saying.
they had like one season where they were a threat. They made the playoffs and they lost, I think, in the first round or something like that
Yeah, and
with
then I
Calvin
know the
Johnson and
Lions
them.
fans are just they're. It's almost like being a Browns fan. Like, how long do I have to wait before my team gets good? And it's coming. It'll come. But is it going to be sooner than later? I don't know. If you keep treating your players like you've been doing, the answer is going to be no. You're not going to see anything happen because you've had good players. You've had Barry. You have Calvin. You've had, I mean, Matthew Stafford. I mean, Matthew Stafford was throwing no lookers before no lookers were a thing.
Yeah.
He's crazy. Matthew Stafford, he's the most underrated quarterback in the NFL, hands down. And he's going to show it when he's on the Rams next year.
All right. So I have the Calvin stuff here. So this was 12 days ago. And basically, he went on a podcast and they were talking about the relationship between the Lions and him, and if they were fixing that relationship and stuff. And he's still mad about how they handled the situation, especially after Julio's situation.
That probably pissed
And
him off.
yeah, basically, so he says here, I'm not back in the family with the Lions or anything like that. It would be nice if they tried to resolve things, but that's neither here nor there, which means the Lions don't even give a shit about him. And then it says here, Johnson chose to retire in the middle of his record setting 7-year, $113 million contract extension after suffering several injuries and losing the will to play through them for the franchise anymore. The Lions then forced Johnson to repay some of the bonus money he paid for the duration of the deal, creating a nasty rift. So
Wow.
the
I didn't even know that
combination,
last part.
yeah, so the combination of him starting to get hurt a lot and then just like fighting through the injuries to play for, with all due respect, this bum ass team is was the main reason for leaving. He said the interview revealed that Johnson would have played elsewhere, meaning the injuries weren't bad enough to force his retirement following the 2015 season. He just didn't want to play for that Lions team under coach Jim Caldwell and the old management that they had. Um, there
So
were
that tells me a
rampant,
lot.
yeah, there were rampant rumors that the then Oakland Raiders were the prime player for Johnson's services if he had gotten cut. Man, what that would have done for the Raiders! Holy shit!
Oh my God.
When Johnson was asked about that possibility, he smiled and said, "Man, I would have went anywhere else besides the Lions.
Damn.
Anywhere, bro.
Anywhere.
He would have
The
went to a one in
possibilities.
15. He would have went to the Jags."
He went to the Patriots. Okay. He went,
He said Johnson let the team know he wasn't going to play for the Lions anymore. When he asked them to release or trade him, they refused. He said, "We asked would they release me or let me go to another team. They said no." So he retired.
what year did he retire? Just doesn't say in
After
the
it
article.
was after the 2015 season.
2015. Okay.
He was hurt. He didn't want to fight through the injuries for this team that he didn't like, and that he had a obvious issue with the management and stuff, and he didn't want to play there anymore. Well, he probably still would have wanted to play there if he wasn't getting hurt all the time, but it was the mental strain of fighting through injury on top of also like hating the situation he was in. He just quit football in
Oh.
2015.
So the one thing that I really took from that you just said was I mean just how they dealt how they really approached the entire situation with the money. So like you have franchises like the Indianapolis Colts, for example, how like Andrew Luck retired, and they still gave him his money. They were like, you know what, we appreciate what you did for my team. You were great. Thank you for the leadership. Here's your money. You can keep it.
Yeah.
It's cool. Thank you. Then you have Calvin Johnson and the Lions, where it's like, no, you give me that money back, and then you can get the
Right.
hell out of here.
Come on, bro.
You can't do that to your players that do so much for your franchise. You know, I mean,
Like, do you know why he was hurt? Because he was carrying the franchise on his fucking back for 8 years or whatever. Like him
yeah.
and Matt Stafford were alone. They had Ndamukong Suh for a couple of years, but all he
Yeah,
was good for was stomping on people's legs
yeah, that
back
was
then.
yeah.
Sue is good now, but back then he was just like the
No, he was a
dirtiest player
dickhead
of all
back then.
time.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, what
So
else did they do to make that team good? They didn't do anything. They were just like, oh, Matt Stafford and Calvin Johnson, they'll get it done eventually. We don't have to pay anybody. We don't have to spend money. Like, come on, bro.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, Detroit. It's almost like, this team is going to stay bad unless you get a new ownership in there, new GM. It seems like it's from the foundation, like you got to create
Yeah.
that culture. You got to create that atmosphere that makes the players want to come there. And
It's unfortunate that they traded Matt Stafford and weren't able to be in a position to draft a good quarterback right now.
yeah,
Like,
it's just not
like
a good look when players leave and they are literally grinning from ear to ear and they're happier than they've ever been after they leave the Lions. Kenny Galladay, happy as hell. Matthew
yeah.
Stafford, happy as hell. Like everybody's just so happy to leave.
It's
And it's
just
just like,
interesting too, like we were talking about Jared Goff and I was saying that he was a throw-in, but maybe they do believe in Jared Goff because listen, I know Penei Sewell was sitting there and you have to draft him, but like you know, Justin Fields was there, Mac Jones was there. So they must believe in Jared Goff in some capacity to not
yeah,
go with the quarterback because that's what I would have done. I would have been like, bro, we're losing Matt Stafford.
quarterback.
Yeah, because you can still have Jared Goff for this year, but like, I don't know.